Sasria has given insurers a mandate to start processing riot-related claims of less than 1 million rand. Sasria is the state-owned insurer set up to provide cover for riots, strikes and acts of public disorder. Claims of more than 1 million rand will require the involvement of a loss adjuster. So those bigger claims may have to wait a little bit longer. But I want to bring in the MD of Sasria, Cedric Masondo, just to get the latest on this. Mr. Masondo, thanks indeed for talking to us. So as it stands, insurers will have already started accepting claims from riot-affected businesses, especially those claims under 1 million rand. Have you already started paying them out as yet?
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening. So the mandate you've given the insurance is that they can assess the claims and process them and even make payments. So as from Monday, we know that some of the claims have already been paid, and assume things like windscreen have already been paid by the insurers. And SASA will reimburse the insurers.
Yeah, so time is of essence here, and I see you've already started moving, but some of these damaged properties and malls are in volatile areas, and that will involve an assessor of sorts, and presumably, I'm imagining that will take a little bit longer, especially for those bigger amounts.
I mean, as you know, that some of these places were not accessible, and we were not able to send the assessors or the loss adjusters. It was only last week, Thursday, where the loss adjusters are appointed by us and by insurance companies, we are able to go to these places. So indeed, it will take a little bit longer, because when it involves big claims, it's not as simple as just the small claims. We're required to assess the claim properly, and it might even take times or months to rebuild a mall, for example, more than 12 months. So those claims will take longer.
Yeah. Mr. Masondo, you've said in the past, in the recent past, of course, that Sasria is well capacitated to handle these claims. There was an estimated figure of 20 billion rand in claims. Does that estimate still stand? And the reason I'm asking is I also want to know, who does Sasria have reinsurance with? Because presumably that's an important factor.
Yeah, so there are two things that we are worried and we're concerned, we're trying to mitigate. Firstly, it's just our capacity in terms of dealing with the claims. Hence, that's why we've allowed the insurance companies to settle claims. And we've always said that everyone's got a limited balance sheet, and we have reinsurers, and claims up to 1 billion, we will start needing to have a discussion with the National Treasurer, because that will mean that SASA will need some form of help in case, so that we can pay the claims and we can recapitalize. We started that discussion last week, Friday, and National Treasury team have been working for the weekend to find the solution. So, but our aim, and that hasn't changed, is to honor liabilities to our clients and pay those claims. Big claims will take longer, not because we don't want to honor, just because of its nature, it takes time to settle those claims.
Another question that's come up, Mr. Masondo, is, can businesses make a business interruption claim? In other words, if businesses close in anticipation of further riots or violence, can they claim for that disruption, or is this purely on the grounds of damage to property?
So we do offer some sort of business interruption, but ours is not as complex as the normal business interruption that you get in a normal fire policy. But also remember that our limits, policies are limited to 500 million. So that 500 million includes material damage and some form of business interruption.
And then just finally, before I let you go, there's been some concern that Sasria, serving the function that it does of ensuring against civil unrest, had no real warning of the potential risks of this unrest. I mean, surely an outfit such as yours would be consistently conducting specific research on the possibility, the likelihood of civil unrest. Why was this not picked up, Mr. Masondo?
So we are an insurance company. We are required by law to produce a document which is called OSA. So in OSA document, you work at all scenarios. You do the 1 in 200 event, and you put things in place. So we had scenarios. In fact, we had a scenario talking about these losses, riots throughout the country. But I don't think anyone had anticipated losses like this, where losses, looting and destruction will take days without some help from the police. So that was just beyond us, and we never expected that. I'm not sure whether anyone expected that. So we did make an arrangement, and with different scenarios. We even had scenarios about the terrorist cover, terrorist bomb, and that's included in our OSA report that we sent to the Prudential Authority on an annual basis.
But was there specific research conducted into those areas that were filled with tension before this? I mean, they were really hotspots, weren't they?
Yes, and also, but they were not as big as this. And remember, we also had truck claims for the past 2 years. So those were claims that we are receiving, truck claims. We've been having increase in service delivery protest. So, I mean, service delivery protest and truck claims and civil commission, it's something that we've been receiving every year. But this magnitude, I think it's something that we never thought of. And it would take years for us to really, I mean, to calculate how really did, I mean, this happen.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. MD of Sasria, Mr. Cedric Masondo, thanks very much indeed for your time. Now,